Yo, guys, how's it going? Welcome in here to Kurt Magoosh Sports, and we're talking today about a couple of transfer quarterbacks. One is Adrian Martinez officially transfers to the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas. He is officially an E-Mall, every man a Wildcat. He is a Kansas State Wildcat, and I'm just really excited for Chris Klieman. I'm excited for Colin Klein. I think that really for Adrian Martinez, he can follow the blueprint of Colin Klein, who I believe was a Heisman finalist with the Kansas State Wildcats. And Kansas State, they are a consistent program in the Big 12. Chris Klieman comes in from North Dakota State. They play really physical defense. I mean, they went to Mississippi State 2 years ago and won a game there. They crushed Nevada and Carson Strong. They just play really consistent defense. And I know that they haven't been able to beat Texas. They were able to beat Oklahoma, actually, 2 years in a row. And had a close call this year. So I'm gonna look up the Kansas State win totals for this year. I believe it was 7-5 or 8-4 this year, with a disappointing loss, of course, the last week to the University of Texas. So, they were able to, even Baylor was a tight game. They went 7-5, and the year before, I think it was 8-4 with Skylar Thompson. What they've been missing is a dynamic quarterback, and you compare Kansas State to now Deuce Vaughn, who is a really special sophomore player who of course reminds you of another Kansas State Wildcat, Darren Sproles, and Adrian Martinez just adds something to this team. I mean, usually Kansas State has a pocket passer, or if they have a dual threat quarterback, it's usually a smaller 6-foot quarterback. So they've never been able to mix, a great throwing quarterback with a mobile quarterback. Of course, you remember Bazooka Joe Hubener. He was a fun quarterback for Kansas State in Snyder's, last remaining years. But really for Chris Klieman in year 3, the transfer portal allows him to get a blue chip player to Kansas State. And for Adrian Martinez, if even Adrian goes 8-4, it really adds to his NFL draft abilities, because Adrian at Nebraska, he never really had that running back. I mean, they had Marquise Stepp. They've had Ramir Johnson. Gabe Irvin ended up getting hurt. Deuce Vaughn's actually going to be the best running back that Adrian's ever played with. And there's good receivers, and he's also going to have another stout defense. And the play calling of Colin Klein is going to help out. But Kansas State's roster is really good. You look at the Big 12. I'm not sure if Oklahoma and Texas are going to be playing in the Big 12 next year. But Kansas State still was able to beat West Virginia. They're still able to beat Iowa State. And with Adrian Martinez, I mean, Skylar Thompson was a decent quarterback. He was clutch at the end of games. I think that even Adrian Martinez could even be a step above Skylar Thompson, because Skylar Thompson ended up getting injured all of those years. Sometimes he was inaccurate throwing it, far down the field. And this is going to be a running offense. I think Adrian's definitely going to keep it on the ground a lot. Him and Deuce Vaughn are going to create a lot of difficulties for defenses at the mesh point. But for a team like Kansas State, that usually doesn't have glitzy offense, this could be really exciting offense. Adrian can create explosive plays. Adrian Martinez even has ability like Jalen Hurts, meaning he has a great arm. He's mobile. Unfortunately, with Adrian, he would have turnovers at the worst time. He would get, sacked for safeties. His football instincts from the pocket, unfortunately, have sometimes led to some catastrophic errors. But in terms of Adrian throwing down the field, he has touch, he has the size, he has elite college arm strength. He really actually has an NFL arm, Adrian Martinez, and he's mobile. You're not going to find a better kid, a better leader than Adrian Martinez. And as a guy that really supports the University of Nebraska and Scott Frost, it was so emotional with Adrian Martinez throughout these last 4 years. The Colorado game, March 2018. Adrian had a big lead in that game, couldn't close. Against Michigan, played a brilliant second half, and then he fumbled the ball at the worst time. Adrian against Oklahoma, played really well. Special teams didn't allow him to get that victory. Same with Michigan State. Adrian had so many chances for that win. And all I could speak for about all of Husker Nation in that they love the kid Adrian Martinez. He battles through adversity. He doesn't blame anybody. He always steps up to the podium. I mean, I'm incredibly impressed with Adrian Martinez, and I think that Husker fans are going to be rooting for Adrian for sure at his next stop. And I really hope this Kansas State team can get 10 or 9 wins next year with Adrian, and he finishes his college career on a real high note because he is the all-time passing leader at the University of Nebraska, even with guys like Tommy Frazier and Eric Crouch and some of those just tremendous quarterbacks that have come through the University of Nebraska. So I'm excited for Kansas State football this year. I really am, and this is a great destination for Adrian, and it's going to take this offense and lead to maybe an explosive offense, which will allow Chris Klieman maybe to attract more recruits and better quarterback play to take Kansas State from an 8-win program to maybe having that 10-win season. All right? It's almost like C.J. Beathard at Iowa. Can you create lightning in a bottle? Connor Cook at Michigan State. Hard-nosed physical football teams that are consistent 7, 8-win teams. Can a dynamic quarterback take them to a 10-win team? He is for sure an upgrade on the roster, and again, I'm really excited for Adrian. He goes to a stable fit with Chris Klieman and the Kansas State Wildcats.